part of being a man is maintaining a capable body. It's obviously not all there is, and you can easily be a man without doing it. I just watched this video. It was in Paris. This guy, 3 masked attackers, they jump out of this van and they go to take this guy's, I assume it's his wife. And, he looks a little older and he looks a little overweight. So not someone who's maintained their body's capability. And he grabs a hold of his wife when they go to take her, and he won't let go. They hit him in the head. At first it looks like he's wearing a red hat or something, but it's really that he's just covered in blood. And he refuses to let go. I think people start to call authorities, and at some point the attackers back off. And that obviously, as a real man, I actually got choked up watching it because of the spirit of this guy. And really, it's like even someone more capable, hell, even someone with some fight experience, and I have a little, you're going to be hard pressed taking on 3 capable attackers. And so I just let's leave that caveat out there. For some of you, like, if it's just not possible to maintain your body, there are plenty of things that are way more important to being a man. I acknowledge it. But if you can, I think you have a responsibility to. I think that it's important, not just for your own self-esteem and not just for maintaining some of that primitive level of attractiveness from the opposite sex, but the more important reason would be so you can defend people you care about. So you have some capability of doing it. And even if you don't, if you are in shape, there's been lots of studies to show that attackers are less likely to pick you as a victim. I think you owe that. If you're going to embrace, the masculinity, I think you kind of owe that to your family, to your girlfriend, to your wife. You want to be able to bring that thing to the table. And the cool part is this is not a sacrifice that you have to make. This is just one of those things that's just going to feel good. If you're making your way into the gym, you're making your way out to play sports or things that you like, whatever the cocktail ends up being to make your body more capable, that's just going to make you feel good. I mean, going to the gym, it's more effective than therapy, and it's less expensive. So get a gym membership and go. And I like just saying, maintaining a capable body, because I'm never going to promote the idea that you got to be the biggest badass in the room. I'm not Andrew Tate over here trying to, claim that you need to be the alpha male. You just owe it to yourself to keep your body capable. There's another video of this guy who, there's a stroller and it's rolling towards the street and he's running in a panic to catch it and he's falling down. And he can't get there in time. A stranger ends up intervening and stopping it from going into traffic. You don't want to be that guy. So what I'm gonna offer here is a crash course for people who haven't done this before, or it seems intimidating, or you're not typically, the athletic kind of guy. You're not comfortable in a gym. I promise you that the people who are most interested in your success, the least likely to bully you, are the guys that have been in the gym and lifting for a long time. There's this lady that comes into my gym. My friend Chris is a trainer, and she's almost 70, and she wants to enter these powerlifting competitions. And she's looks like a 70-year-old lady. But she gets in there and I hear her grunt and just go for these lifts and push herself. And it's the most motivating thing ever. I'm in there half-assing it, telling myself I worked hard last time. And then I hear her and I'm like, let's go, And then there's a really small guy that comes into the gym that I made friends with, naturally, he must have or hyperthyroid, whichever direction that is. He's thin and he's short. He's a tiny guy, but he's in there lifting consistently. And, you know, I love talking to him about what he's doing, despite his challenges, like trying to put on weight. And I was telling him about how when I was in college, I was actually really thin, like naturally. They called me string bean growing up. And I ended up taking a half gallon of milk with me to class every day and a jar of peanut butter. And during my classes, I would take a little plastic spoon and eat the peanut butter, drink the half gallon of milk. And then I had an apartment that was beside a Publix grocery store. And I would stop and get a rotisserie chicken every day. And I would eat that thing down to the carcass. And I eventually, you know, started putting on weight. Now it's like, you know, harder to cut, of course. Classic story. But, all you need to do, you don't have to know everything, is go in and progressively overload. Challenge yourself, like write down what you do, or nowadays, you know, it's easy to do it in an app. There's a lot of free ones even. Put your reps in, put your weights in, and try to one-up yourself every time that you go in. And then eat, realizing that that's most of it. You're gonna need to up your protein intake. 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight is going to be what it takes to put on muscle. For a lot of people, that's probably where you get your biggest return on investment in eating the protein. But you'll continue to see gains that kind of asymptote off up to, you know, 1.3 and beyond. I go for 1.3. I'm 225 pounds, so really that puts me over 300 grams of protein that I need to get. I never quite hit that, but I strive for it every day and I get close. And that's just something you want to do so that you actually see the progress and it keeps you motivated to keep going back in. Now, notice I said a capable body and not, there's always someone who watches and goes, yeah, but big muscles don't mean you can fight. That's true. But I'm not actually that worried about the fighters in the world. A lot of people who actually train to fight, at least in my experience, my history, they're good guys. These aren't the people that are going to come out and, you know, rob you. And I'm not just talking about self-defense in this video either. I'm talking about having a capable body, one that's capable of doing work when it needs to get done, one that's capable of getting out and enjoying this world, you know, with your spouse, one that's capable of picking up your kids, one that's just capable. And that's the starting point where I would say if it's possible for you, you don't have some medical condition or something holding you back, then you have a responsibility to do that. And I think that it'll play into all the other things that we talk about on this channel. I think it's going to play into you feeling good to go start your business. If you're investing in real estate and flipping houses, I mean, whatever it is, it's not going to hurt you to have a capable body. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to give you the energy that you need to go do it. So I'll do more videos where I get into the weeds on how to lift. I don't want to say optimally. I want to say just maybe biggest bang for your buck is optimal, but there's too many fitness channels now that go so far into the science without delineating where you're getting away from the main things that lead to 99% of the results, and you start getting into how to squeeze out that last 1%. And for most people, that unless you just love that subject, it's not necessary to look at it that far. If you're progressively overloading and eating enough protein, you're going to improve your body. If you need to lose a lot of fat, which I know a lot of people are in that situation, there are inevitable ways to do that. And I should probably save this for another video too, but you get a food scale. This is the short of it. You weigh your food. Those things are cheap. You can get one off of Amazon right now. And they're convenient. You can, like, if you take a shaker with some water in it, you sit it on that scale and you hit 0, it'll zero out with whatever weight is on there. And then you can pour in the protein powder or whatever you're doing and see how many grams it is. You can log that into a food tracking app on your phone now. So it's not like it used to be. It's way easier to do that. At the end of the day, you're gonna know how many calories you ate. You know how much protein was in it. And then you put yourself in a situation where you are going to inevitably lose fat. because you kind of can just look at how you're eating, right? And track your weight. And then you just every day, I do this in a spreadsheet, but I'm sure there's apps that do it as well. You put your weight every morning, which jumps around because your water that you contain in your body. I mean, that you're going to be more dehydrated, less dehydrated days. But over time, when you get a few weeks of data, you'll have an idea of how many calories you were eating and if your weight went up or down. Then it's just a little bit of remembering, algebra. There's an equation for calories and how that relates to weight. 500 calories a day if you are in excess of your base metabolic rate, meaning the normal calories that you burn. If you're in excess of that by 500 calories a day, after a week, you will have gained a pound. And in reverse, if you have a deficit of 500 calories a day, you should lose a pound. So you can look at your weight and you can see if you lost, a pound, 2 pounds, based on the calories you're eating, and then you can adjust the number of calories that you eat accordingly. And if you're severely obese at this point, you have a very powerful friend now in these GLP-1s. There are peptides. The latest is retatrutide, and that can help. And I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you what to do. I'll just tell you that I used a very small amount of that on the cut that I'm doing now, and it took all of the effort out of it. Like in the past, it's just taken, discipline to track my calories. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if I'm hungry or not. If I do this and stick to it, I'm going to achieve my goals and I'll just suffer until I get there. This takes that away. There's not like, it's insane. It's like almost if I take even a fraction too much, it's difficult for me to eat enough calories to stop myself from losing too much weight too fast, which of course, when you lose too fast, you lose muscle with it. So I would just like to see my subscribers take that piece seriously, no matter who you are. Especially if you think like, that's not me. The gym is not been my favorite place. Get in there, make it one of your responsibilities to maintain yourself physically. It's going to help you more mentally than you know. It's going to make you more attractive to other women. It's going to help your self-confidence and actually give you the ability to do some of the things that you're expected to as a man. I mean, it's feeling like a man goes a long way, and that's just part of it. And it's not just a macho thing. I'm not over here espousing that you need to be the baddest man in the room or the biggest man in the room. But I am telling you have a responsibility to keep a capable body.